Intro to layer styles. Layer styles are special effects that can be quickly and easily applied to individual layers in Photoshop to drastically change the appearance of something in a very little time. It can be a preset, customized, or even saved and used for later. Alright, so we are going to apply some of the layer styles to this login button. So we will make it like it was pressed by the user to better indicate the actual action for it. But firstly, let's group our layers to make our layers panel a little bit cleaner. Just Control click or Command click on the layer and drag them over to this folder looking button down there. Or just press Ctrl plus G on your keyboard. Name it email address field. The other group is going to be password field, and the last one is just a login button. Alright, and to apply some of the styles to this button, we need to get over to our layers panel and right click on our shape and select blending options. Or just double click on the layer to the right. You got this screen with a bunch of different options. We are not going to cover all of those, and we are not going to use them all of those neither. To better learn what each can do, to try them by yourself. Firstly, let's try out with drop shadow. Let's just click on it and you got a bunch of additional options for drop shadow. As you are making adjustments, you should be able to see changes being made in your actual document. Keeping an eye on your document while adding effects will allow you to better determine how to adjust settings. The opacity settings allows you to change the overall opacity of the drop shadow, so you can make it visible or invisible by dragging this light. You also can set the color of the shadow, but most of the times it's going to be black. Well, because shadows are actually black in real life. The next thing what you can change in there is the angle and the global light. You can try that out and play around, but one thing to remember and is used most of the times is setting the angle to 90 degrees, so you get a shadow only in the bottom. Now let's try out gradient overlay. Gradient overlay consists of a few basic settings and does just what the name says. You can try them out and play around with them, but probably the most important option here is the actual gradient. By default, the gradient overlay will probably use a foreground to background gradient, which is not exactly what we are looking for. That's okay though, because we can easily adjust with gradient from here. Click on gradient overlay, and there you can further click on the gradient field, which currently has black and white colors. This is where you set the actual colors in your gradient. It can be a simple 2-color fade or a complex set of colors for special effects like meta. And lastly, what we are going to use for this simple app screen is inner shadow. Inner shadow is very similar to drop shadow, but it's inside the actual object, not outside. So with this style, we could make our button to look like someone just click on it, to make that nice transition between static state to press state. And as I mentioned before, if you want to learn more about layer styles and its different options, you probably want to play with them around by yourself. And of course, we are going to use them a lot in our actual app design lessons.